Buster. Now I'm going to come down there so you guys can get an up-close look at him. Now Eastern Screech Owls, they are native to Eastern Tennessee. And Buster here is called a gray phase of an Eastern Screech Owl. So they come in 3 different phases: the gray phase, the red phase, and the brown phase. Now the gray and red phase are both found here in Eastern Tennessee, but these guys are pretty much masters at camouflage. They are pretty small birds. Buster here is a full-grown adult, so this is as big as he is ever going to get. He is a little bit on the bigger side since he is in captivity. These birds, they typically weigh about 5 to 8 ounces, so they're pretty small. They have quite a few natural predators out there in the wild. One of the biggest predators being the great horned owl. Now, a lot of times they nest in cavities, but if you look at Buster here, you'll see that he doesn't really have the capabilities to make those cavities himself. So what these birds do out there in the wild is they will look for vacated nests from other birds, like woodpeckers. Now with these guys, they are incredibly important in our ecosystems because even though they are small, they are still a top-tier predator. They do a great job at hunting rodents and insects, small reptiles, spiders. They hunt all of those little guys. Now you'll see here on Buster, he has these 2 little feather tufts on the top of his head, and these are not horns. You may be thinking of the great horned owl, which their feather tufts are horns. But for these guys, they're called plumicorns, and they are used to enhance their camouflage abilities. So whenever they feel threatened, they'll raise the plumicorns as tall as they can, pull their feathers in really tight to their body to make themselves look nice and slender, and they will close their eyes almost fully shut, and this helps them to blend in with whatever bark they are standing on. You will also see here on Buster, on his stomach, he has some pretty intense counter shading. He has kind of a splotchy-like appearance on his chest. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that whenever they're camouflaging, they're backed up all the way against a tree. So if Buster were out in the wild, he would most likely be found blending in with oak trees because they have a similar color to him. Now, if you can't really tell, here on my glove, if you wouldn't mind if you could turn your flash off, please. It's okay. But these birds, they are pretty light sensitive. But he blends in exactly with those trees. It's difficult to tell right now, but they do a great job at hiding. You guys have probably heard Eastern Screech Owls before, but it is incredibly difficult to spot them out there in the wild. A lot of this has to do with their size, but again, this camouflage is almost perfect. You'll also see on Buster here, he has some darker shading around the outside of his face, and that is called a facial disc. This is a pretty unique characteristic to owls specifically. The way that it is shaped, it helps to enhance the sounds. So, with that disc around their face, it acts almost like a sonar dish. It funnels the sound straight into their ears. Because they have ears, exactly like we do, just 2 little holes on the side of their head. Except they don't have the cartilage going on the outside like us. But they just have 2 little holes. And so this facial disc makes sure that all of the sound is funneled straight into their ears. So a lot of owls, are nocturnal, which means that they are hunting at night. Even though they do have incredible vision, they mostly are hunting off of their hearing, especially like barn owls. They can hunt in total darkness. But you will also see Buster here, he is missing an eye. And that is because unfortunately Buster came to us due to a car collision. That is the biggest threat that we pose to Eastern Screech Owls, and this typically happens due to littering. People will throw things out of their car, not realizing that it's drawing their favorite snacks right to the edge of the roadways. And since these birds are nocturnal, they are our most light-sensitive bird. So a lot cars. Now, Buster is missing that eye because his retina detached due to the collision. So, while he was in the care of vets, they determined that it would be best to remove his eye for quality of life. Now, Buster is non-releasable. All of the birds that we care for at the American Eagle Foundation are non-releasable, which means that they have been seen by a vet as well as federal agencies and have been determined to be unable to survive out in the wild. So Buster here is here because of an injury, but we do have other birds that are here from illnesses or something called human imprinting, which Tal will explain to you guys here shortly. But do any of you guys have any questions about Buster or Eastern Screech Owls? Absolutely.
What kind of owl is that?
He is an Eastern Screech Owl.
Oh, so is he a carnivore?
He is a carnivore.
Yeah, he eats spiders, lizards.
He eats spiders and lizards.
Yep. Hey, he got one eye.
He only has one eye because he did get hit by a car, unfortunately. But now he lives here with us, where he gets some really good care. You have a question? You love his color? Well, I'm glad you like him with his color. Oh, yeah, he is pretty small. He is a very small bird. That's just how they come. They're all small. They're about 6 to 8 ounces. And Buster here, he's about 4.5, 5 inches tall. But he's mostly feathers. What was that?
Why do you have that?
This is just a microphone. It just makes sure that you guys can hear me. So out in the wild, you're looking at about 8 years for them, but in captivity, we can expect to double their lifespan. We're not 100% sure exactly how old Buster is. We think around 6 to 7 years old, because whenever birds come in, they have adult plumage, and after that, it's very difficult to determine their actual age. So you kind of have to go based off of other characteristics like overall health. He's still in incredibly great shape, but most of the time, birds as they age develop incredibly human-like problems like arthritis, deteriorating of vision, a lot of things like that. You'll just see overall health decline, but the biggest sign is arthritis. And whenever he came in, it was not documented that he had any. So they stay within their own species. It's kind of hard to explain. They kind of mate for life. So they'll hang out with each other while they're in breeding season, but then after that, they will go their separate ways. And then a lot of times the males will hold territory, and the females will come back to that same territory the next year. So they stay with that mate until they can't find that mate anymore, and then after that they will find a new one. It's 1-to-1. Yes, they hold 1-to-1, and they have clutch sizes of about 4 to 5 eggs at a time. And they are biparental, which is pretty rare in birds. So that means the mom and the dad will both incubate the eggs.